Okay.
Oh, good evening, friends. Welcome to my channel Inspiring Minds by Pankaj Sharma. Today, my topic is to prove root 2 is an irrational number. That is, we are going to prove that root 2 is an irrational number. How to prove this? Let us start. If possible, suppose that root 2 is a rational number. Therefore, root 2 must be equal to p upon q. That means root 2 can be expressed in the form of p upon q because it is a rational number, and where q is not equal to 0, p and q are both integers and p and q's GCD is equal to 1. That means the GCD common divisor of p and q, GCD is also known as HCF, of p and q must be equal to 1. Now take it as number 1. Squaring both sides by both sides of 1. Root 2 square is equal to p upon q whole square. Root 2 square, cancel it out. 2 is equal to p square upon q square. Now 2q square is equal to p square. This implies that 2 divides p square. This implies 2 divides p. So therefore, there exists an integer. This is the sign of there exists an integer a such that p is equal to 2a. Put in 2. What we have? 2q square is equal to 2a whole square. Now we are going to put value of p in number 2 equation. And what we get? 2q square is equal to square of 2, that is 4a square. Now let's go further. Two q square is equal to 4a square implies 4 upon 2 a square, means q square is equal to 4 upon 2 a square. Cut it out. Q square is equal to 2a square. This implies 2 divides q square. This implies 2 divides q. This implies we get that 2 divides both p and q. Therefore, 2 is the common divisor of p and q. 2 is the common divisor of p and q. It means if 2 is the common divisor of p and q, 2 is the common divisor of P and Q, but it is contradiction, as in the definition of rational number, we take GCD of P and Q, that is greatest common divisor, means HCF, highest common factor of P and Q, is equal to 1. But here we get 2 as a common divisor of P and Q, which is contradiction, because 2 is greater than 1. Therefore, our supposition is wrong. This implies root 2 is an irrational number. This is the question. Now if we get if we have to prove that root 2 minus 1 is an irrational number, how we can prove it? Root 2 is an irrational number. To prove, firstly, we will prove root 2 is an irrational number. As we have done here, that root 2 is an irrational number, this is the proof. And the further, what we are going to write here, that we know that minus of, subtraction of an irrational number and a rational number is again a rational number. This implies root 2 minus 1 is an irrational number. Again, an irrational number. Root 2 minus 1 is an irrational number. Because root 2 is an irrational, 1 is rational, and the subtraction of these two, root 2 is irrational, एक परिमेय दोनों दी घटाओ की हो जाएगी अप्रमेय, पंजाबी च भी होगा थोड़ा जा। इस प्रूफ को ध्यान से देख लीजिए। टू प्रूफ रूट 2 minus 1 इज एन इरेशनल नंबर। सबसे पहले हम रूट 2 को इरेशनल नंबर प्रूफ करेंगे, जैसा कि हमने पहले कर दिया हुआ है। ये देखिए, इसको ऐसे कर देंगे। चलो इसको आगे नेक्स्ट वाली वीडियो में दिखाएंगे।